Hello ladies and gents, so new video on how to fix a leaking air pressure tank for the AR8 Pro. So after a year, couple of years later, after you've bought one, depending on how much use you get, you will hear it leaking and it will leak eventually. So some really quick simple fixes. First of all, one, if it's leaking from here, where the valve in which way you pump it up, you use a tyre compressor or a bike pump, etc. There is a tool, can't find mine at the minute. All you need to do is just tighten that up. You'll pick up the tool for £1 from Halfords or somewhere like that. If it's leaking from there, just tighten that valve up and that should solve it. If it doesn't, you might need to replace the actual full part of the valve, but that's about £4 or £5, something like that. Nice and simple next day. Next thing is it will leak from this one here. This happens all the time. So this is the push connector. From my experience so far, it's rarely the actual push connector part that you need to replace, but actually some seals within inside the pump itself. So that's what I'm going to show you what to do first. So you unscrew your cap, unscrew the tank, and inside the head we have this. So this is what's inside. So you unscrew this black thing. You might need some pliers. I've weakened mine a little bit to make it easy, but you'll need some spanners or pliers to pull it off, and you screw this out. Inside we have a couple of parts. So we have this spring. Now this is unfortunately a galvanized steel spring, so I don't know if you can see that particularly well, but it's particularly rusty and I've seen better days. So first of all, get a wipe and give that a good sort of scrub and clean. I think they are again available replacement parts, these springs, for literally pence. From what I'm told, they're originally supposed to be a stainless steel spring, but for whatever happened in production, it changed to a galvanized spring. So, but again, these are easily replaceable for pence. But in all honesty, give it a good clean. It should be fine as long as it's still springy. That's your spring, all sorted. Then inside, underneath the spring, we've got this brass wand that sits here. So you need to grab some pliers and sort of grab and pull it out. So this is the offending part that leaks, and it's this rubber seal right here. So quick fix if you don't have this spare part. So we're going to look at selling the full brass one with the seals already on. You can actually unattach this with some pliers and spanner and get this one seal off and put a new one back on. But as a quick solution, if you put this in boiling hot water for a few minutes, so I'm going to boil my little kettle, actually I won't, it's just boiled. I'm going to put it in a cup in some hot water, so boiling hot water, plonk it in. I'm going to give it a minute. What that does is soften the rubber seal, so then it's ready to sort of reset when we put it under pressure again. And then you can see how rusty it gets. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's lots of rust and stuff with inside that, so we're just going to clean that out as well. Just give it a nice tidy and a clean. So if it's leaking from there, which is, like I say, highly likely after quite a lot of use, it's more than likely this seal that we're looking at now. So I'm going to let it sit in the hot water, just soften it up for a minute or so. Then we're effectively going to rebuild it and it will work. You need to put it under pressure. Once it's rebuilt, fill it up to sort of 5-6 bar pressure and just leave it for sort of half an hour if you can. Let it reset and seal, then release it, and then you're good to go. So if you weren't going to replace that whole brass wand and those seals, this is a nice quick fix. Won't last forever though. You might get days, weeks, maybe months, but in reality you're going to have to change the seal eventually. So, and it's this one here, so this black rubber seal here. If you, like I say, if you don't replace the whole bar, it's probably worth it in all honesty for the cost. Then it's this black rubber seal here. This can unscrew, it's a 2-part mechanism. You can take that seal off, put a new one on, and Bob's your uncle. So seal, bit softer, bit set. And this is the top part, so this goes in first into there, and you push it right in so it sticks out at the end. So if you can see that sticking out through there. Then we put our spring, so a smaller part of the spring, onto the end, and then we sit that inside our black holder, and it's got like a benching on the other side of the black holder for which to sit on. Then we screw that all in, tighten it all, make sure it's really tight, and then we screw it back onto our bottle, and we will not have a leak. We put it under pressure first, remember that, put that under pressure for, like I say, ideally put it up to 5-6 bar, and leave it under pressure for about half an hour, then release it, and then re-pump it again, and you'll be good to go. That is how you fix a leaking AR8 bottle. Okay, I will hopefully see you again soon. Cheers.